Shalom. Call Loyam La Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Kakwadash. Double honors to my teachers, the elder apostles of the great millstone, who I learned the truth from, who rule well. Peace and salutations to all my fellow laborers of the hopeful elect tabernacle of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And we know the scriptures say, study to show thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. And also pursuant to Proverbs 4 and 7, it says, wisdom is the principal thing, and with all thy getting, get understanding. So our job is to prove ourselves to the Heavenly Father. And when we, do this work, we have nothing to be ashamed of, that we're handling His word truthfully and correctly. All right. And we know that it would be a very dangerous penalty if we handle the word of the Most High deceitfully. All right, that's why it says, cursed be he that do the work of the Most High deceitfully. All right, so this lesson, that I want to go into is, dealing with the same topic of the mark of the beast. Since that, topic is always, fresh, because that's, one of the most relevant prophecies. Kind of, doing some, reading, and I was reading in Job, the 13th chapter, and I was curious what this particular word meant in the Hebrew. All right, now real quick, let's go to it. Job 13, and then verse 21. And it says, Salakia, 27, that's the verse. Job 13 and 27, it says, thou puttest my feet also in the stocks, and lookest narrowly unto all my paths. Thou settest a print upon the heels of my feet. And, as I was reading it, I was kind of curious, what does that mean? Thou settest a print upon the heels of my feet. I'm like, is he talking about printing something on his feet? Like what, Jay getting simple. But I was like, well, why not just look it up and see what that word actually mean? So I went to the word for print. And the Hebrew is chakwa. And it basically says to cut, carve, cut in, to engrave, cut a limit. And the Strong's definition, it says to carve by implication, to delineate, also to entrench, carved work, portrayed, set a print. Okay. And when I read these definitions, I thought back to Charagma. All right. Now let's go to Revelation 13 and 16. And it says, and he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Now, those of you that watch us, y'all already know this. Or y'all already know what the word is there. Y'all already know its meaning. And then, of course, we go into the root words as well. We know this is Charagma, a stamp, an imprinted mark of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the anti-Messiah. The mark branded upon horses, thing carved, sculpture, graven, work. So obviously you could see that these two words, which one was Hebrew and the other is Greek, these words are associated with one another based on the definitions. And this is how you get the true context. When you look at these variation of words and you see that they're similar to each other by definition, that's how you draw the context. So the argument is always whether the mark is physical or spiritual. We gear towards the mark being physical based on the different variation of words that are associated with Charagma. Whether you find the Hebrew equivalent to the Greek word that's being used, or whether you find other Greek words that are equivalent or associated with the word. You see? And by definition, it indicates a physical thing. There's going to be a physical mark that the devil is going to touch you with. If you don't have that imprint, that print, you won't be able to buy or sell. You see? And you go to the word, the root word, which goes back to karax, and it says a pale, a stake, a palisade, or a rampart, pales between which earth, stones, trees, timbers are heaped and packed together. And then it says down here, a palisade, a rampart, military mount for circumvallation, and a siege trench, or to entrench. Going back to that word. Let's go back to Job 13. All right, Job 13, and I think it was 27. Job 13 and 27. Let's go to that again. It says, Thou puttest my feet also in the stocks, and lookest narrowly unto my paths. Thou settest a print upon the heels of my feet. Let's go back to that word, which the word there is chakwa in the Hebrew. And it says down here in the Chaldea lexicon, it says to hack, hence to engrave, to carve, to draw, to paint, to hack up the ground. Okay, so that's what this is talking about. Down here it says around. So like it says, around the roots of my feet thou hast dug up the ground, or has made a trench so that I cannot go on. Down here it says, it is commonly interpreted around the roots of my feet thou hast delineated, i.e. has marked out my feet how far they shall go. You see? So this is similar to Charagma and karax. Okay, and this indicates that this is a sharpening instrument that's going to be pressed down into something that leaves a print or an imprint. You see? And then another scripture that comes up when you deal with the word charagma, which is in the New Testament. You go to Acts. This is Acts 17 and 29. It says, For as much then as we are the offspring of the Most High, we ought not to think that the Godhead is like unto gold or silver or stone, graven by art and man's device. You see that? So the word graven means to carve or to cut. Okay? And then what does that make you think of? An artificer. All right, that was that Tubal Cain? Let's go to Genesis 4. One of the great grandsons of Cain. One of his skill sets was that he was an artificer. He was cunning in the arts of crafting weapons. So he was skilled with that pointing instrument. It's Genesis 4 and 22. It says, And Zillah Tubal Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron, and the sister of Tubal Cain was Naamah. You look up that word artificer. The word is charash, and it says metal craftsman. Down here in the Chaldean lexicon, it says cutting, fabricating, hence a cutting instrument, edged tool. You see, and that's what's used when you're crafting, an instrument or a statue. You see, a cutting instrument, an edged tool. Let's get an example of that. Let me see. Edged tool. Let's go to images. And these are the different tools used. Obviously, the ones with, a sharp edge. Okay. And look at that, man, with a sharp edge. And what exactly is Esau going to use? All right, to make an imprint on your hand or your forehead. What tool is he going to use to put that mark upon you? We know the scriptures say, thou shalt not print any marks upon you, for I am the Lord. That's Leviticus 19:28, right? And that's another Hebrew word associated with charagma. All right, the word kwai kwai. Now, if you want to make an argument for the mark of the beast being spiritual, then you would have to find words associated with the word that's being used for marking Revelation 13 and 16. All right, one of the some of the words that I could think of, if there were if if you was able to associate words like shragis, shragizo, semeyon, all right, those words, those indicate spiritual marks. Okay, but anyway, so now you see, this is why we can conclude that the mark of the beast is a physical mark, man. It literally means to cut or to carve or to engrave. And I guarantee if you look up the synonyms for engrave, one of the words that's going to be there is incise or incision. Okay, and what is incision? Salakia. Incision, a surgical cut made in skin or flesh. A cut, all right, a scratch, a gash. And it doesn't not say that in the definition for charagma, a scratch. Let's go back to charagma, which I believe that's 5480. I think it might be 50. Yep. And what does it say in the Strong's definition? And it says a scratch or etching, basically an incision, as a stamp, like a badge, that you got to use to get into your job. There will be a point in time where you're gonna have to need that chip, all right, that gash that you're gonna have to put in front of a kiosk in order for you to get into a building or to do a financial transaction. That's how Esau is trying to set everything up. Okay, you look at all the technology and you see the you seeing the direction that it's heading in. You know, you seeing the trajectory of this technology. It's all moving toward the mark of the beast chip, the microchip, man. So if you can't see this, man, then it's evident that the Lord blinded you. All right, and it was at Romans 11. And if y'all and whoever is getting sick and tired of us going into this topic, then hey, you already know what to do. You can not watch the videos, or you can unsubscribe if you want to get entertained. But what our videos, man, we do this for edification, man, to build your understanding, and we even you grow in the understanding, man. And once we get the information, we share it with you, in hopes that you also grow in the understanding. All right, it's Romans 11:7. It says, "What then? Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded. As according as it is written, the Most High have given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that should not hear unto this day." All right, and hey, Was that 2 Corinthians 11? If the gospel be hidden, it is hidden to them that are lost. Unless the Lord, shine His light on them and heal them and restore them. You know. But it's evidently clear that the mark of the beast is a physical mark, man. Which we say that it's the microchip, the RFID chip or the NFC chip that this devil's going to make mandatory at some point. And without it, you're going to be asked out. Unless you part of the elect, and we know that the Lord said He's gonna feed us. It said His servants shall eat. All right, we're still going to be all right. The Lord's going to preserve us. All right, but anyway, that was just something I wanted to go into. While I had a little time, hopefully this was edifying. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And until the next lesson, I say Shalom.